Hi out there, everybody. Welcome to Lunch with Live Animals. This is Leslie, and there's my friend Justine. We are here with the Living Collections program here at the Natural History Museum. Just pointing out, by the way, we are both at the museum, but we are in totally separate spaces. That's why we can go without masks for just this short period. But we have some really fun stuff to share with you today. Now, I also want to mention that this is our last weekly Lunch with Live Animals, but we hope you'll keep joining us. We're going to switch to monthly at the start of the new year. So please keep track of us and join us again. Now, today, I want to talk to you about the superheroes of meh, whatever, the opossums. Do you have a friend in your life who, is just kind of like meh, whatever, super adaptable? They'll sleep anywhere, they'll eat anything, they'll be bothered by absolutely nothing. I have people like this in my life. Here's my nephew, as a matter of fact. He will sleep anywhere. Hi, Chris. He was told to go clean up the closet, and he was found like this like 10 minutes later. So I think Chris might be an opossum. You'll never know. So the animal I brought today, and Justine has today, is the epitome of meh, whatever, I'll do whatever, I'll go anywhere, all right? He is Mr. Unimpressed Petey, the opossum. The funny thing about opossums is their entire natural history is sort of like the very definition of adaptability. You know, they're actually not native to the West Coast where we are right now. They are from everywhere east of the Rockies. They didn't make it over the Rockies on their own. We carried them across for fur, for food around 1890, and they either escaped or were let out on purpose, and like boom, possum explosion. They took over, and they do just fine here. Thank you very much. So they can be found in a huge variety of climates, but also a lot of places within those climates. Here are some examples. We've got an opossum on the top left showing you how great they are at climbing. They have opposable thumbs, they have a prehensile tail, so they're excellent at climbing. And yeah, they might sleep up in a tree hollow or something like that. But they also use that prehensile tail, like the picture on the top right, to grab onto leaves, to carry them and make themselves a happy little home anywhere, just about. They might be under a thicket, they might dig under a barn or in somebody's garage. On the bottom left, we have an opossum. This actually happened to me, who made his home inside of one of the museum vehicles. If you can't tell what's happening there, I put another picture on the bottom right. This happened to somebody else. This apparently happens a lot, okay? They find anywhere they can to sleep. They go into people's homes sometimes. We'll talk about that in a minute. So they're just kind of like couch surfers. They go wherever. And they actually seem to prefer places where we kind of messed it up a little bit, in our suburbs, in our cities. They don't even do as well in the country or in the mountains because there's bigger predators there. There's competition, right? So they kind of like to hang around us. We leave a lot of hiding places and we leave a lot of food. We'll get to that in a second, because it actually, this is kind of cool. So real quick, again, they only need a tiny little bit of help, right? So even their evolutionary history is kind of chill and relaxed and whatever. Can't stop them. They evolved in North America, South America, all right? And then eventually went extinct in North America. And when the Isthmus of Panama appeared, like this land bridge appears up out of sea at some point, they made their way back up to North America. It formed a bridge back and forth for a lot of animals. But again, the opossums just needed a tiny little bit of help so that they can just come back to North America. Boom, possum explosion. You know, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. They tend to take over wherever we are. Makes them happy. Now, it helps that they will eat just about anything that they come across. Justine, what are you feeding today?
So right now, Petey's enjoying some green beans, some snap peas, some pellets, a little bit of chard, and some almonds. So like Leslie said, they'll eat basically anything. Here at the museum, he mainly gets veggies and different protein items. So he also loves to eat fish. He loves to eat different insects. He likes scrambled eggs, all kinds of different things. And in the wild, it's not really any different. they will basically eat anything that is smaller than they are. So if you can think of something smaller than Petey, he would probably eat it. They'll eat frogs, they'll eat small rodents, they'll eat lizards, snakes, all different kinds of things, crayfish, slugs. And they can do this because they have really, really strong jaw muscles. And Leslie has a skull with her, so maybe she can show you. But these guys not only have these really incredibly strong jaw muscles, but they actually also have 50 teeth, which is the most of any vertebrate living in North America. So to go with those teeth and those really strong jaws, it gives them the ability to eat something that not too many other animals would eat, and that is bone. So these guys will also eat roadkill, and they have the ability to chomp right through the bone, straight to the bone marrow, which is, reason number 590 of why they don't make very good pets, because if he confuses my hand for a piece of food and he bites down, it's going to hurt pretty bad. So with this varied diet, they're also really helpful at helping control a certain pest species that we have here in North America, and that's the tick. So just in one season, they can actually eat around 5,000 ticks, and that's just from grooming themselves and getting all of the ticks off their own bodies, kind of like little popcorn snacks. And that picture that Leslie's showing you is actually from a trail cam where a wild opossum is actually grooming a wild deer and eating the ticks off of the deer. So they don't just help themselves, they help other animals with this problem as well. But probably the most famous thing they're known for is eating anything that we have around our homes, in our backyards. If you have a garden, it's likely they're eating your vegetables. If you have fruit trees, it's likely they're helping themselves to that. And often they're helping themselves to your garbage. So I don't know if anyone here watching has found one in a trash can at their house, like in that picture in the bottom left of your screen. But I know I have. And it's a really common question that we get is, what do we do if we find one in that situation? And to be honest, you can just help them out if it's safe, of course. It's probably more of a job for an adult than a kid. But you could really gently just tip the trash can over if that's possible. Or you could even just give them a way to climb out, almost like a bridge or a ladder. So you could just give them a branch or something that they can then climb out of. And if you leave for a few hours or so and come back, chances are really good that that possum will be gone. It's just really important that you give these guys space.
Absolutely. Now, because they're so chill, meh, whatever, superheroes of meh, it means they also do sort of come into contact with us a lot. I get calls now and again about the opossum in my house. What do I do? Like Justine said, basically, if you give them space, open your door, they will very likely leave. The young ones get out there, they're trying to find a new home, and sometimes they get themselves into trouble. Now, if they are startled, they do put on a very impressive defense. They want to remind you that they have teeth, and it looks a little something like this. It looks scary, but they're not actually biting. They're actually really reluctant to bite. They really just want to remind you that they have a mouth. So they're just it's called gaping. They're just showing off their teeth. So yeah, sometimes, they just want to be left alone. They want to have a quiet meal and a place to sleep. I mean, don't we all? Now, if they get really scared, because it does happen, they do something that's pretty famous, and it's called playing possum or playing dead. The funny thing is they're not playing and they're not dead. It's a physiological reaction to fear. They faint. It's a physiological reaction. They can't control it. It's not like they're kind of creeping one eye, waiting for you to walk away. They pass out. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a second, but you can do this at home with me. We can stiffen our limbs, okay? Curl our tail. Mouth is open. It's kind of fun, right? Drooling a little bit, all right? They even let out a little stink. Maybe don't do that part at home. But it's very hard to tell that they're not dead. And even if a predator came along and was poking them with their nose, they wouldn't move. In fact, it'd probably make them go deeper. So I'm going to show you this picture, but I want to remind you, not dead. okay? I'm not showing you a dead opossum. This is a scared opossum who fainted, okay? But looks pretty dead, right? And it probably stinks too, because that's a really good defense. So yeah, they're chill. They don't want to be bothered too much. So here's a really cool thing. Again, it helps if you can be kind of tough when you're out there living in a lot of different environments. They have this super cool superhero shield in their blood that protects them from toxins and poisons, especially protein-based ones, all right? I'm talking about the LTNF, the lethal toxin neutralizing factor, kind of a big name, which means they have this protein in their blood, proteinase inhibitor that inhibits poisons and toxins like, okay, I'm talking snake venom, all right? Snake venom, yeah. I'm talking bee venom, okay? Doesn't bother them at all. I'll eat a snake, yeah, whatever. I'll eat a bee, who cares? Just brush it off. They are immune to distemper and rabies, although that probably has something more to do with their body temperature. But other toxins too, botulism, a very difficult bacteria, ricin, which is a bean-based poison, one of the most toxic poisons we know of. It's intense stuff, but the opossums, whatever, doesn't bother them at all. They're actually pretty incredible. Petey's on a walkabout here to show you what it's like when you are an opossum out in the world coming across danger. So here's the crazy thing, you guys. This LTNF, this lethal toxin neutralizing factor, when given to rats, made rats immune to venom as well. What? You heard me. Isn't that incredible? I mean, if you're wondering if they are used in human medicine, actually, there is research going on using the type of blood they have to make synthetic medicines to help us deal with venom and other poisons. Isn't that incredible? They are so helpful. I mean, heck, they even like eat the ticks, like Justine said. So they're just kind of like processing Lyme disease and getting rid of that for us. They're amazing, adaptable, relaxed. Ooh, someone asked a good question about how about black widows? I would not at all be surprised if they were also immune to black widow venom because it's, again, a protein-based venom. So I don't know for sure, but I know they are immune to a lot of different venoms. So that's an interesting question. Thanks, Joe. So to be this superhero of meh, whatever, means you're tolerating a lot of stuff, all right? They are also pretty tolerant of one of the most difficult parts of life, having babies, and they have a lot of them. I'm talking a lot of them. They have 20 to 50 jelly bean-sized joeys. They're called joeys because they're marsupials and they live in a pouch. 20 to 50, okay? They're only in mama's belly for 12 days before they come out blind, naked with these temporary climbing claws, and they have about 2 minutes to swim up mama's fur to get in there and attach into the pouch onto a nipple and hold on tight because look how busy they are. Look how busy Petey is. That's how busy a mama opossum is. So they better hang on tight. They're only in there for a couple of months, okay? I've actually got a little possum puppet here, which kind of shows where the pouch is. It is circular like this, and it's about right there. These are a little bit bigger possums than would actually be hanging out inside of the pouch, but I have a picture here. Look at those ones. They look like they're almost ready to come out of the pouch. So they're in there for about 2 months. They come out, and then they climb on mama's back, and then they hang out there for about 2 or 3 months. Does she look happy? Look at that poor mother. Her fur's being pulled. Her face is getting stepped on. She's having a tough time. But eventually she scrapes them off. She can't take it anymore when they're hanging on her too long. Last but not least, you might wonder how you might know if they are in your neighborhood. They can be, as many people here have seen them before. They're very common, very adaptable. One cool way is to look for their footprints. They have very unique feet, looks just like our hands. Look at that, opposable thumbs. And their footprints look just like little hands. The back foot and front foot touches, so you can see if they're leaving it in the mud or if you live in a snowy area. You can almost see, too, when Petey walks, his front and back feet touch. Isn't that adorable? Thank you so much for joining us today. Please keep leaving questions. We'll be happy to try to answer them as we go along. Again, here's a cute picture of their little snout. Don't forget to join us on our Instagram, which is at NHMLA_live animals. We put up all of our videos there. We'll be keeping up with lots of cute photos and updates of the animals as time goes on. But we hope to see you there. Thanks so much. Thanks, Justine and Petey.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.